Have you ever felt bored, apathetic, confused as to how you fit in this mechanism? Has this book ever felt dry, lifeless, distant? Why is it so easy to become disengaged? It was a few years ago that I stumbled upon this Irish philosopher, theologian. His name was Peter Rollins, and he did something so remarkably unremarkable that it stuck. He took such a step inside the box that it was outside the box altogether. He taught in parables. Now, as a Christian, I have been immersed in parables my entire life, and I have heard and read all of Jesus' parables. But Rollins' approach was so remarkably unremarkable because even though parables are a chief means of teaching employed by Christ, his disciples have somehow lost that talent. So by taking us back to the roots, he gave me a fresh wind. So naturally I was curious and wanted to hear more. I went to the bookstore and grabbed one of his books called How Not to Speak of God. This was exactly what this bored with the church freshman needed. I was good at church. I had been doing it ever since I could remember. So naturally it had become stale. When I read this book, I got exactly what I unknowingly was looking for. I got salt. I didn't receive water to quench my thirst, so I could go on with my lackluster existence until I was thirsty again, and then receive more water and repeat the process. Instead, I received salt and was immediately thirsty, intrigued, confounded, and driven to get more. But the beauty was not that I wanted more Rollins. I wanted more Christ. He helped me see that idolatry had many forms, and my version was the most sinister of all. I had made church, my idea of God, and everything else into God himself. The problem was that none of them were God, so naturally I wasn't impressed with my mind's creation of the ultimate creator. I had turned my idea of God into an idol. All the while, God simply wanted me to let him show me who he really was. This book made me thirst after the true, mysterious God and shattered my concept of God. I was able to re-engage in my seemingly boring faith. I learned to rely less on my preconceived notions of what God should be and how he should act. I became infatuated with this idea that I wasn't squeezing God into my heart, but instead I was jumping into the ocean of his existence. Looking back, I don't know if this was the first step on my journey to allowing the real God to be God, or if everything up until that point was preparing me for something like this, and it was simply the final push into the mysterious abyss that is God. I'd say maybe a little bit of both. Have you ever felt passionate, thirsty, driven to pull back the veil of the mystery that is God? Has this book ever breathed life into you?